go, boy!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We're back talking about quite possibly, if you want to talk finales of a franchise, John Wick 4 is it. Uh, if Avengers Endgame was like the finale for that whole Thanos saga, the 10 years of Marvel, John Wick 4 is a summation of everything that we've seen in the previous three movies all coming together in a good sort of full circle moment.
If I had to sum it up, very simply put, this is the perfect trilogy plus one.
Yeah. There's a lot of talk about the length of films. This movie clocks in at I saw it adding in the credits and even the after credits. This thing clocks in at 2 hours and 43 minutes.
So just under 3 hours.
Just under 3 hours. Now, on the surface, you'd be saying, like, damn, that's fucking long. But if you know the John Wick films, the films move at a very good pace to where you get like maybe 2 minutes of quiet time and then boom, it goes back up, it ramps up. And that's what John Wick 4 is. From like the beginning setup where John is in Japan all the way through to the end in Paris, the movie just never let. Actually, no, scratch that. When he's in Saudi Arabia in the desert, all the way through to Paris, the film never lets up. It just keeps going.
It has like one or two breathing moments. Like if you needed like a good
have to break for a second.
if you needed like a good 2-3 minutes to run to the bathroom, those are your moments to take, because when the action kicks, oh my god, does it kick? The one thing that I just wanted to question, and I'm just going off the fact that this movie was nearly 3 hours long and we did not see not a single airplane in this entire film. Was everybody just operating off of fast travel video game logic?
I mean, let's be real. It has that vibe to it. I mean, it's had the vibe since the first movie. I think me and you and everybody, we can agree with this. What I love about the John Wick films is that each film escalated itself in terms of trying to trump the previous film. Like when you think back to that first film, right? The biggest thing that we loved about that film was the precision of the gunplay and the action, right?
100%.
It didn't feel there were. I'm not gonna say there was no over the top moments, but the over the top moments was just streamed to, oh my god, did you see how John killed that guy kind of thing?
Yep.
Because it was just so smooth, right? And then the second movie continued that, and there wasn't really much in the way of over the top stuff except for the visual stuff. Like for instance, when he's fighting in the underneath the museum in the Hall of Mirrors. Yeah. Well, you know what? When he kills the old dude's sister underneath on the ground, that was dope. But then also the Hall of Mirrors underneath the museum in the second one, right? But then the third one is where it kicked it up on the over the top. Like, all right, how can we top the first and second movie? All right, we're gonna have John in a knife fight with a bunch of dudes in the room.
No. I got no. This the best way to sum up the third one. Like, how do you start up the third one? Have the first fight take place in a library, of all places, a library.
Yeah, it starts off subtly.
Second, and you got to make sure we see this in the trailer. John Wick is riding a horse.
Yeah, rides a horse and everything. And that's funny because it's a stark contrast to the beginning of the second one where he's getting his car back and he's in a fucking demolition derby with his own fucking car that he just got back and stuff. So it's like, okay, he's on a horse and he's on a bike. He's okay. And the fourth, it's like how can you possibly top what we saw in the third movie between Halle Berry's two Malamute dogs and his shit with going through just how can you top that? On top of Winston and his boys shooting up all the guys and adjudicators, men, like how can you top that? And the fourth movie is like, hold my beer.
More like him surviving his excommunicado for for over 2 hours of a film.
Yeah. And this movie says, hold my beer. And like I said, from the start of the movie in Saudi Arabia all the way through the end, the movie just keeps like, you like that? All right, here's another set piece. You like this? Here's another. And it's like, what the fuck? Holy shit. There's a sequence in Paris that two sequences in Paris, I might add, that is insanity. Not gonna spoil it. All I'm gonna say is, newsflash, your side lost. All right.
Yep, I actually remember I said that in the
He
thing
whispered it to me. I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now, if people get that reference, you'll know what
because
we're talking about.
that happened not once but twice,
3 times technically.
3 times actually. Yo,
Um,
but no, we are presented with a colorful, very colorful cast of characters. Everybody honestly did a serious, amazing job acting out their roles, the characters. Like I think, there wasn't a bad character in this movie.
well,
At least
every
not,
kid.
at
Oh,
least not to me. At least not to me. I'm talking about there wasn't a single character where I said, "Oh, this guy sucked. Can we please kill him?" No, I mean, I genuinely enjoyed everybody, even certain characters who were just straight up walking Terminators. But like everybody was dope.
so the basis of the story is, when we last left Wick, Wick, after being shot off the roof by Winston, he's pretty much angry now. Like, the high table pretty much is after him, and just your boy, his friend shoots him off the roof, and he's like, you know what? Nah,
He's like,
it's gotta go. All
It's
this
either
gotta go.
like, wait, I keep the club. I mean, like, I keep my hotel. What to do with John? Oh, he's got to die. Let me go ahead and shoot him in his bulletproof suit. I'm just going
Uh,
to continue to shoot him in his suit and watch him fall over, which is why you notice after the adjudicator was like, Mr. Wick is gone. A true tragedy. No, he is off the streets.
so the basis of it is, John is coming for the high table, and through circumstances, he finds an out that will give him the ability to actually finally get out the game, and it makes him cross paths with Bill Skarsgård's character, the Marquise, who is pretty much like one of the powerful members of the high table. And the Marquise pretty much has the high table's like full backing to take out John.
Yes.
And if you thought the adjudicator was a bitch, oh, the Marquise is even more of a fucking bitch than that chick.
What makes
Oh,
what makes the Marquise
oh,
even here's what makes the Marquise even worse. It's the guy who's backing. It's the guy the Marquise is backing. This became a personal thing. This is a personal thing. Where they're not just going after John, they're going after
anybody
anybody
that
and
helped them.
anything who's ever helped them, associated with him.
Mhm.
Basically, this movie was John Wick 4. If John Wick 3 had the subtitle of Parabellum, this movie needs a subtitle of John Wick 4. Anybody can get it.
Now, the difference between the adjudicator and the Marquise is, the adjudicator, to her credit, she had reasons to go after the people that helped John, because, as she said, hey, you, Bowery guy, you gave him the gun that had, was it 10
Like
bullets?
the 7 bullets,
7 bullets and stuff. Sorry, yeah,
seven
you gotta
cuts,
go.
7 cuts.
Yeah, you get
That's your
7 cuts. Sorry, it is what it is. Winston,
that's your punishment. Seven
yeah,
cuts.
Winston,
And,
you
and
did kind of let John run wild. You kind of deserve this punishment here. Just saying. And it's like, it sucks, but you know what? You said so yourself when we talked about this offline. She's just doing her job.
and the
Okay, fair.
and the best
That's
line,
fair.
best line ever after 7 cuts. Well, sometimes you got to cut a motherfucker.
Yeah. And so, even you said it yourself. It's like, well, she's just doing her job. Fair, right? The Marquise, on the other hand, and you know, Clancy Brown plays a harbinger, and he's telling the Marquise, hey, look, I know you got the backing of the high table, but there's smart ways to go about this, and it's none of my business. But how you going about this isn't exactly smart. But
Yeah,
whatever.
it's
I'm just,
not.
hey, who am I to tell you what to do?
I mean, you do realize you're dealing with someone who has come back from death
Thank you.
several times. We've seen this one guy take out an entire army. Granted, yes, we are the high table. He takes out an army that we throw at him. We got 20 more armies that we could throw at him. But here's the problem. what's going to run out first? Him running out of ways to kill said army, or us running out of armies to throw at him?
And that's why I like the Harbinger, where he's like, look, I'm just gonna tell you to you, but you know what? You do what you want to fucking do. I'm just telling you there's consequences to this shit. FYI. Whatever.
Consequences.
And that's
That
and that's the
word
thing.
has come back again.
And that's the thing. That's why I like about the Marquise is like, unlike the adjudicator, his rhyme of reason is just, oh, you're just a fucking asshole. You're a little
Yes.
shit. All right, got you. You
It took
deserve
me.
whatever comes to you.
It's like I was following you. I was agreeing with it up until this point. Like, okay, what are we doing here, bro? Is this about rules, or do you have a personal vendetta? Like, what's going on?
Now, granted, we know that what John has been doing up to this point, it has upset the high table because John does represent kind of like a very much like, yo, he is being very disruptive to this shit that we're doing here. Knock it the fuck off.
He is, but let's be real. This whole thing was because of a dog and stolen car.
No, but no.
That's how
No,
much
no,
this has escalated.
No. Here's the thing. Take the first movie off the table.
Okay,
This is all happening because the guy that hit him with that blood oath betrayed his ass.
Yes.
That's what starts this shit. People think it's the dog. No. He squared that shit away in the first movie.
He did square it away.
And I don't think the high table gave a fuck about that. They're like, whatever. Do what the fuck you want.
Matter of fact, I think if anything, the high table let it slide.
They let the shit slide. It's like, all right, cool.
They let it slide.
Johnny Boy's back. Fuck it. I don't care. Whatever.
No. Johnny Boy's back on a. He's basically on a like he's visiting us right now. As soon as he settles his affairs, he is gone out of our lives. We can continue business as usual. Oh no, hold on, blood oath. First of all, why are you going to get the guy? You really going to take an opportunity to force John out of retirement just because he had a personal situation?
Well, the blood oath was fine. It's the betrayal that even when I look back,
I know. I was getting to that. What I was saying was, you make this man come out of retirement. Even when John was like, "Look, I really don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. Like, look, I'll do it, and that's got to be it." But this can't be the way. This really can't be the way. You really can't get me to do this sort of thing. And what do? You don't just come back and ask. You don't come back and convince. You do the one thing you should never, ever, ever do to John Wick, and that's piss him off. You blow up his house and destroy his car.
Mm-hmm. And the thing of it is, that movie right there sets into motions what you get in 4, where when John finds that out, he has to figure out a way to like, all right, let's follow him on this video game journey of what he has to do to finally get to this quest. And you talk about the characters. Donnie Yen comes in as Kane. He's a longtime friend of John. He trained John, and he's much like in John Wick 2. Kane is put in the same situation by the Marquise, where it's like, hey, look, I'm gonna need you to take out John. Sorry. This is what it is.
Like, again, if anything, this is Kane's John Wick 2, because Kane's retired. He just wants to live his life in peace as a blind man, and watch his daughter from afar, because of high table rules, you can't necessarily have any contact with with family members that that are left alive due to your actions, because which also references the situation of Halle Berry's character. But in his case, my man gets more or less like forced into being the one to take out John. And there's like God, it's like a whirlwind of emotions for everybody. Like, everybody is in that mode of, I really don't want to do this.
Now, the one character that I think is the standout in this film, like, Donnie Yen's great, Bill Skarsgård is great, Hiroyuki Sanada, who plays another friend of John, he's great.
Yeah.
Lance Reddick, obviously back at Sharon, great. Scott Adkins, great. But the one guy that stands out, Shamir Anderson plays Tracker, aka Mr. Nobody, and
aka Black Man with a Dog.
He's the definition. I think he's a de facto definition of a wild card. Most wild cards in movies, they have an allegiance. This man has no fucking allegiance. He is there for the money, but the money has to be right. It's not about just, oh, well, here's this money and do it. He's like, no, 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 no. It has to be worth my while. It has to be very much worth my while.
It's like, hold up, you put the bounty at 18? Nah,
Nah,
dog.
nah,
Come
nah.
talk to me when it's 25.
And that's what makes him so interesting is because it's like, does he want to kill John? And then you realize,
Like,
like, no, no, the money has to be right for me to do this
yeah,
shit. So, nah, I'll help John out on his mission before the money gets up. So I'll do
right.
that.
It's like, because real talk, I got no beef with this guy.
I'm
I
just there
know
for the
who he
maybe for the.
is.
I mean, I could go for the bounty, but
Yeah, it's
nah,
like I got no. I honestly have no real beef. Like, listen. I open up my book. Here are my monetary limits, and the one you got for John Wick is way down here. No, no,
and I like his
I ain't
character,
getting out of bed for this.
and I like his character because he's very chill, subdued. He has a goal, an idea of what he wants, and he follows through with it. And
Yeah,
it definitely butts heads with a lot of interesting parties in this film, and I like his journey throughout this film as well. It's just everybody has it feels because every John Wick movie, everybody has an angle that they're going for and what their goal is. Like even down to the Bowery King in this movie, we see his next step in what he wants to do now. I don't want to spoil it, but like when you see it, it's like, oh, that makes sense. Of course he was going to do that.
yep.
You know,
I mean, you kind of have to, especially after Mark Dacascos and his gang of ninjas come through and wreck your entire operation. I mean,
yeah.
once again, John Wick, anybody can get it.
Yeah. And the world building in this movie, it's again full circle. Like we finally see the full extent of what the high table can bring in terms of their people, because holy shit, the fucking
Yeah,
Marquise's guys are like
next
ruthless as
level,
fuck.
next level. Like
Like,
you thought the Continental shootout with the armored guys and the whole armor piercing bullets was tough back at John Wick 3. Sheesh. I didn't think they would do it, but holy crap, did they do it?
um, we've seen in all the movies that a lot of the assassins they have suits and they have like Kevlar lined inside of it. Same with the Marquise and the high table guys. They definitely rocking the same type of suits. And it's like how do you fight guys that pretty much function the same way as you? And it makes for very interesting kills in this film, which I think
Mhm.
is phenomenal. Because again, how can you elevate what the fuck we've seen before in the previous films? And this movie was like, no, we'll find a way to do it. Like we see John Wick actually using fucking martial art weapons in a way that I was like, motherfucker, I totally forgot Keanu could do that.
Dude, it was the first time I've actually seen him use it. Like,
I seen him offline do it, but it was kind of like, all right, Keanu knows a little something, something, but to see him full fledged like use some of these weapons, it's like, son of a bitch.
yeah, no, I'm saying it was that particular. Like, again, I'm not spoiling, but it was that one weapon in particular. I'm going, oh, is he about to have a Michael John White moment here, which he
Nigga,
almost did?
folks, the smoothness of how he goes between the weapons and his gun, it's like, yo, the fuck. It's like Donnie Yen as the blind master is great, and you'll appreciate doorbells. That's all I'll say. Um,
Yes, dude, I love that. That was probably my favorite gadget that he used in this movie. I'm like, bro, I need more of this, Donnie.
we see a group of people using bow and arrows, and like it was like Ninja Gaiden and shit at one point, which again I appreciate those kind of things. We have exploding bullets, silencer
Yeah,
weapons, just everything that you
I
could
was gonna
think of.
say
This movie throws at you.
I was gonna say interesting way of how you make the incendiary shots. I did not know just cutting a bullet in fours.
Yeah,
That did it.
that's the thing. Somebody said it best too. I think it was our boy Jason. He follows us. Shout out to him. But he said it best. It's like the John Wick movies follows the formula of like Korean, China, John Woo style action films. It's just
Mhm.
escalation, escalation, and there's a simple story at the heart of it, which
Yep.
is that's all you really need. And I think it's amazing to me that this series never felt like it went off rails. I think that's what amazes me when you get and 4 movies at that, where it never went off rails. And I'm continually shocked by that because it just reminded me of like how John Wick 4 reminds me of the Raid 2.
Yes, I agree.
Because you
It
remember
was
Raid 1 was very much like Raid 1, if Raid 1 is like John Wick 1, where it's very simple and it's contained to a certain area, John Wick 4 is literally Raid 2, where they just said, fuck it, open the floodgates,
yeah,
bigger
we're,
action, bigger
we're going
fights, more
everywhere.
characters, give them everything. And it's like, holy shit, this is actually good.
I I want to say it's definitely a combination of the Raid 2 and that other movie. I think what was it? It was that other movie from Indonesia. What was it called? Like At Night We Kill or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think that kills at night, something like that. But
Yeah,
it's
something like that.
yeah. I mean, just it, and even on top of that, the cinematography is fucking dope as shit. Like the cinematography and the editing is great. And maybe it's because the director of this film was a stunt man, so he understands the need of, if I'm gonna watch a fight, don't do so much fucking cuts, just
Yeah,
show it. So there's no unnecessary cuts in the fights. Like when you see him shooting, you see people shooting. When John gets kicked off something high, you see him bouncing off of objects when he hits the ground. There's no cuts. It's just, oh, boom, 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 done. You know, even down to the soundtrack. Like the soundtrack is like
the
perfect.
soundtrack was so good, man.
Some reuse from, actually, maybe it's just me. Did you notice that they reused any of the songs from the previous movies for
They
this?
did. One in particular, I think, was like for example, um, when they were in Osaka, it
Mhm.
was it was like a Japanese trap remix of the John Wick theme song.
Okay, because I know they've reused there's a later scene when they're in, was it Germany? Was it Russia? It was
Uh,
Germany or Russia when
Germany.
when he's in the club and they reused the club theme from the first movie.
Yes,
So, which, I mean, let's be real, that theme just goes
it
the whole
does.
time.
It fits. Now I remember. Sorry, I remember the other movie. It was The Night Comes for Us.
Yeah, the night comes from, yeah, that one.
Night
Like,
Comes for Us and Headshot. That was the other one.
yeah. Yeah, I like I said, I don't know. Here's my thing. Where do you go from here? Like we know they're doing a spinoff with the hotel,
The
with the
yeah was a ballerina and the Continental.
the Continental. So I'm curious, like, you know, what's what are they gonna do? Like, I'm curious on like how that's gonna go, because apparently, like, they're maybe like essentially, like, I think it's supposed to be like, I won't say a prequel, but kind of like a sequel. I guess it takes place like during the John Wick franchise, but then after the movie too, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
So it's yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, I'm
Uh,
interested in seeing, see what they do, like who's going to star, because I didn't look anything into it. I want to go like my my moves, man. I go into everything as blind as possible.
yeah, it's supposed to be the guy that was it Lynn Wiseman that did the Underworld movies, which I'm like, okay, I mean, cool, I guess.
All
It's
right,
just
I mean, I like the first one.
I just
Let's
hope they I'm just hoping that they, get the people that did the main John Wick movies involved too, because we need to get that
get it.
consistency.
Bring in that action stunt team, please.
Yeah, okay, I found it. Yeah, Ballerina takes place between John Wick 3 and 4.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, that works. Um, but yeah, that's going to be interesting, and the Continental one is going to be interesting too, because it's like, is it going to be kind of like the was it what was the name of the that Jason Statham movie where he drove that car?
Transporter.
It's gonna be like the Transporter TV series where it's like we getting more than just the main character kind of vibe.
One can hope.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah, yeah, John Wick 4. This is definitely worthy of a watch, folks. You will not be disappointed. I will be buying this shit on Steam Steelbook, just like the
Yeah.
other three.
Steelbook 4K Blu-ray pickup, definitely. If there's one thing I will say about this game, God, this movie, and yeah, at this point in the franchise, we are watching a live action video game.
It's a live
And
action anime to me more so than a
no,
video
I'm
game.
getting no. There's a
Oh, sorry.
part. There's a part that I'm trying to reference without spoiling, but I will say this.
Hotline Miami.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Sorry, that is too much.
It's hot. Think Hotline Miami and Hong Kong Massacre.
I've never played Hong Kong Massacre.
Yeah, put those two games together. There's a part in that movie that references those pretty hard. And yes, there is another. There's definitely an anime that this movie in particular will definitely remind you of. I'm not going to say what it is. But come on, we're 4 movies in. What anime does John Wick remind you of? But anyway,
I think it's pretty easy to figure out.
It's very easy to figure out. So
it's yeah, it is what it is and stuff. But yeah, John Wick 4, definitely go check it out, folks. Yep. You will not be disappointed.
John Wick 4 drops March 24th. Please go see this day one.
Go see it day one. You'll love it. Wonderful.
10 out of 10. S tier.
Carnage. S tier. A. Anyways, folks, we'll catch you later. Peace.
Deuces.
That boy is Benny Hunt.